Scott just made the point.
Thomas Jefferson, you'll
used to be a lot more secure, not just.
Leftist propaganda filmmaker Michael Moore popularized the phrase "Bush lied, people died," but Donald Trump wants Republican primary voters to know he agrees. I'm PJTV's Scott Ott, joined now by Stephen Green and Bill Whittle. And men, during the GOP presidential debate in Greenville, South Carolina, Trump attacked hapless rival Jeb Bush by accusing his brother, President George W., of an impeachable high crime. And then he doubled down.
I want to tell you, they lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right. Governor Bush.
While Donald Trump was building a reality TV show, my brother was building a security apparatus to keep us safe, and I'm proud of what he did. And he's had the gall to go after
The World
my
Trade
mother.
Center came
He's
down
had the
during
gall
your
to go
brother's
after
reign.
my
Remember
mother.
that.
Hold on.
Well, Stephen Green, Rush Limbaugh says Trump did that on purpose because he has basically tapped out his potential Republican vote, and so now he's trying to appeal to independents and Democrats. Steve, what was your reaction when you first heard Trump's accusations on the debate? And is this man, who also called a Vietnam POW a loser, immune to consequences for this as well?
Oh, boy. You know, what Trump said is nothing new. It's the kind of thing you saw at Code Pink rallies. It's the kind of thing you get, you know, from a Michael Moore movie. It's the first time, however, it was new that I'd heard it from a Republican presidential candidate. You know, after we got past, I guess by last fall, past the novelty aspect of the Donald Trump campaign, and it was obvious that he was a serious contender that needed to be taken seriously and treated seriously, as do his fans, and they are legion, and we need to respect their concerns, many of which I share, especially on immigration. That said, Donald Trump, I can't take him seriously anymore. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because people I know and respect, smart people, said, you know, you've got to take this guy seriously. He's a real contender and he's saying some very smart things. And I was really willing to give him the benefit of the doubt after a couple of his debate performances recently, where he showed that he had grown, that if he hadn't fully educated himself, like on the nuclear triad and other little details, at least he'd done some of his homework, and he showed himself to be a more mature and credible Republican candidate. And then he goes and has a moment, not even a moment, an orchestrated series of statements straight out of the Code Pink playbook. And I'm sorry, but I'm done with this guy. He's not a Republican. He's a conspiracy theorist, which plays right into into my segment this week. And I don't know what to do with lunatics like this, but I know one thing you don't do, and that's you don't make them the nominee of the grand old party of this republic.
Well, Bill Whittle, Donald Trump is quickly becoming the new face of the Republican Party for many Americans. What, if anything, will his accusations about President Bush do to the party and to the country?
Well, I can tell you what they did to me. For the first time in my life, they made me want to enthusiastically vote for Jeb Bush. That's what they did for me. Honestly,
wow.
that response was just terrific, and I was very pleased to hear the crowd groaning when he made those accusations, and they just roared after Bush's defense. I mean, they roared, and they deserved to roar. That was a superb, impassioned defense. We see a little more of this. He'd start to act like a real candidate. I still don't think we're going to see 3 President Bushes, but it's the first time I've ever thought, all right, go get him, Jeb. The rest of it, Scott, is just, it's a catastrophe, is what it is. You know, I mean, you're right. He is becoming the face of the Republican Party. I would just say I'm with Steve. You know, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I kept giving him a little more line. You know, when he starts calling people on our team, he calls Michelle Malkin, you know, dumb as a rock, and National Review, the home of William F. Buckley, as a has-been weak organization. People have been fighting for freedom their entire adult lives. There comes a point when it's like, you know, seriously, if this is the test. If you were to take a list of things that Donald Trump has said and just print them on paper, and then below that put Elizabeth Warren, you would make people's heads explode because of what this woman was saying. I mean, you gotta kick the brain. The brain's got to get engaged in this process in here somehow, or we may regret it very, very much.
Well, we will always remember where we were when we learned that an airliner had hit the tower. And we'll never forget President George W. Bush standing atop the rubble, arm around a firefighter, bullhorn in hand, promising that the people who knocked down these towers would be hearing from all of us soon. And while some of us may disagree with the reasons for and even the results of the Iraq War, no rational person believes that President Bush stirred it up and lied to sell it. People who say that are on the kook fringe. Donald Trump is among them. And if Reince Priebus and the RNC really care about their party and our country, then they'll rebuke the kook and insist on a retraction. If they instead nominate him for president, and as far as I'm concerned, Trump lied and the Republican Party died. For Bill Whittle, Stephen Green, and the entire trifecta crew here at PJTV.com, I'm Scott Ott.